Get on your pith helmets, your binoculars, and your map bags, because you know what time it is. Today, we're following our adventure leader. Well, we should always be following our adventure leader, but that's a conclusion for the end of the video. When you go on an adventure, you need to make sure to follow the leader. Why? Because having a leader means you have someone who can make decisions, help you along, and direct where you're going. They help you get to your destination, the place you're trying to go, safely. We've got our map to show us, sure, but we need to make sure we actually get there. So, who's our adventure leader? Well, to answer that question, we need to look back at what's happened the last 2 weeks. If you haven't seen them, the videos are in the description, so spend a few minutes catching up. Caught up? Good. So, we're on this adventure with Mark as our guide, and last week I sort of gave away the leader, Jesus. But don't just take my word for it. Let's see what Jesus has to say. Mark tells us that at one point some religious leaders asked Jesus an important question to try and trick him. Where did he get his authority from? But Jesus knew they were trying to trick him, so he asked them another question. Where did John the Baptist's authority come from? If you remember, we learned 2 weeks ago that John was a prophet who spoke from God, who told everyone to listen to Jesus. That meant that if they acknowledged John got power from God, then Jesus also got power from God. But they didn't want to deny that John was a prophet, because everybody loved John. So they pretended not to know, and Jesus told them he wouldn't tell them either. In order to find out for ourselves where Jesus got his authority, we're going to have to put on our thinking caps and use what's called an inference. Do you know what an inference is? That means we have to read not just what words say, but what they secretly mean. As an example, if I tell you I'm making this video in my back room, I didn't tell you that I had somewhere to live, but you know because I have a back room. You infer that I have a home because of that. So, what inference can we make from what Jesus said? Well, Jesus said that John got his authority from somewhere. We know that that came from God. John said that Jesus had power. That means Jesus' authority came from God. If you said God, you're right. God made Jesus the leader of our adventure. So, how might we follow Jesus? Right, so, today you're going to need more paper and some drawing tools. But this week we're not going to make a map, we're going to make a brochure. In order to do that, you're going to need to fold your paper into 3 pieces. If you're having trouble with that, go ahead and get an adult to help you. And then what you're going to do is on the front, you're going to write something about following Jesus, and I'm going to write just that. And then on the inside, you're going to, on these pages, write some things that you might do on your adventure following Jesus. Where might you go? To church? Maybe to another state? Maybe to another country? What might you do? Well, maybe you'll build houses. Maybe you'll feed the hungry. And try to make it exciting. Try to make sure you're advertising this adventure that we're going on with Jesus. So go ahead. I'm going to make mine, and then we'll come back. So, as you can see, I have 4 little inside pages, and yours doesn't have to look anything like mine. You can put whatever you want, decorate it however you want. In fact, try to think of some things that you can put in your own. So, good luck following Jesus this week on your own adventure, and hopefully, I'll see you again next week.